Good afternoon. It's almost 1 o'clock. Was going to do this a little bit later. We still got the gangster hat going on. Today, we're going to talk about the false narrative of the 401k. You've heard it in every corner. Put your money in the market. And the people who have money and who are putting it in the market have done very well. True story. However, everyone is not putting money in the market, and everyone is not in a position to put money in the market. It's very interesting, right? Let me show you a few things really quickly. Let me get them out of here. And we're also going to talk about this government shutdown. I'm going to let you know where I think it's going, because this has an impact on the economy in ways that if it keeps going, you'll see this stuff happen. Get in this window. Okay. So we got a few websites you could check, like the Smart Asset. I was doing this research for coursework for your basic financial education course, and it is worse than I ever thought. All right. This is where people are supposed to have. All right, there's two sets of numbers here. There's the average balance and there's the median. The average can be very misleading, and I'm going to give you the reason why. Let's say you have 100 people who make $1,000. I'm making this stuff up. They have $1,000, and let's say 99. They have $1,000, so that's $99,000. And you have one person with $1 million. That one person is going to skew the results of those other 99, where it will appear that the other 99 have way more money than they really do. So that's the difference between average and median. Median really breaks it on down. Okay. Now, this is average. Once again, this is skewed by the billionaires and the millionaires. They're completely skewing this. But this is where some people are. And let's be really, really clear. This ain't enough. I have more money because I would be in the 50 to 59. Well, let's say I look 40 something, but I would be in the 59. I have more money than that in a checking account. Now, this isn't the brag or the boast. It's just to illustrate that when you're talking about retirement money, let's see, 4%, that's like that's $4,000 or $5,000 a year you can draw down off of that. So that's like $400 a month. Then your Social Security is like $800-900, so that's like $1,300. You see where I'm going with this? All right, so this is where people are supposedly are. All right, and then we get here, and this is really good that you should read, because they broke it down, and I'm going to say something. In fact, a record number of 401k holders at Fidelity Investment hit millionaire status in 2018. Not one of them, you're in very good company. A 7-figure 401k balance is the exception, not the rule. In fact, the average 401k balance at Fidelity, which holds 16 million accounts, is consistently ranked as the largest defined contribution record keeper, with an average balance of $106,000, which means that's the middle. Now, I have to get to that median stuff. If that seems high, consider the averages tend to skew by outliers. In this case, the number is being propped up by these rare millionaires. The median, which represents the middle balance between the highs and lows, is just $24,800. Let me say that again. It is $24,000. Let's just say 25K. So the average person does not have $25,000 in their 401k, which means that when you adjust for the number of people in our population, many people are not participating in this market. They're not there. They're not benefiting. If you're not in the water, you can't swim. And this is where many people are. Now, what does this have to do with the government shutdown? I'm going to tell you in a minute. Hold on a second. Just hold on. Just trying to check out how this looks. Right now, he mistreated the trash people, the people who have been pissed upon by this administration, are a representation of what will happen if America goes through a deeper recession than the last. This is a representation of what would happen. Yesterday was the second missed paycheck, right? These people are losing it. About an hour ago, LaGuardia they grabbed some planes, which means that if you were in Alabama and you're heading to LaGuardia, you can't take off the plane until they clear the air where you can land. This is just one airport right now. If this keeps going on, it's not going to be just one airport. It's going to be several airports. Now, what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Businesses are going to start losing money. Salespeople are not going to be able to get to where they need to be. Overnight deliveries, they're going to be impacted. People are not going to get checks. You're going to see a lot of things that are going to happen, because the big thing is you have a lot of people who believe in small government. To me, government is kind of like insurance. Every month you pay your insurance premium, but you don't use it. And you pay it and you're like, I really don't need this. Then something happens, you'd be like, thank God I had insurance. That's the government. There are many people, it's like, hey, we can reduce the size of the government. We have all these bureaucrats. No. See, because it hasn't impacted you yet, there's this false narrative that we don't need these people. When I was in the military, we didn't have enough people in the military. And there were folks like, hey, we don't need the military. This is why they were offering these outrageous bonuses and sign-up offers, because we didn't have enough people. You're going to feel the effects of this government shutdown if it persists, because what's going to happen is you're going to have more air traffic. What I think is going to happen if this tomfoolery keeps going on, the TSA people are going to get together, the air traffic controllers are going to get together, and they're going to have a walkout. They're not getting paid. They're working harder than ever. And then you have these people who's like Laura Trump. They're just going through a little small pain. These people are so out of touch with the average life of the average American. It is unreal. Small pain. See, this is the problem that many of them don't understand, including Donald. When things were good, when people were getting their checks on time, many folks were already on the financial brink. And these 2 weeks of not getting paid is just a push to push these people off of the precipice of the financial aid. They were already hugging the financial aid. They was like, I ain't going over. Oh man, missed 2 paychecks. They're into the financial abyss. Now, the ramifications of this, because there are many people who support this foolishness. Well, they ain't impacting me, man. We don't need these government workers. Wait until you go try to do something. Wait until you try to get your passport. Wait until you go and like, hey, how come there's no meat in here? Oh, we don't have a meat inspectors. How come there's no milk? Oh, we don't have milk inspectors. Sooner or later, these people will not be able to work without pay. You have people who are sleeping in their cars because they don't have enough gas money to go home and come back. And they're being forced with, well, if you quit or you don't show up, you're going to be fired. This cannot go on to March or April. And Donald's like, well, people help him out. Banks will help him out. The grocery store, the grocery store, the, the grocery store is not giving you go give you free. Publix is not giving you free food. Publix, no. Banks, they may delay a payment or two, but ultimately they're going to be like, the only way that they can protect these workers is to pass this legislation that is for members of the military. I think it's the Debt Relief Soldiers and Sailors Act, where if someone's deployed and they get behind on their bills, you can't do anything to them because they're deployed in the national defense. They're deployed in, they're doing their jobs for the nation. So we're not going to mess them up. And when they come back, they can sort that out. They would have to pass that legislation to really help these people. And they might, if someone, well, what I assume is, since that vote yesterday, 6 senators crossed that aisle. If they had another vote, they had the plan that Mitch McConnell had presented to Donald in December, and if they put that plan on the floor right now, it would pass. It would be a veto-proof bill. And that's why Mitch doesn't want to do it, because there's going to be like egg on Donald's face. Donald's base is going to be like, oh man, Mitch, you wasn't for us, man. So we're going to get rid of you. And it's just going to go all the way downhill. But looking at it's just been a month. And many of these people are on the brink of financial ruin. Now, how does this message with the 401k? For you to put substantial money in the 401k, and we'll get into asset classes. There'll be a special video on that because, you have your traditional asset classes, your paper assets, your monetary assets, your physical assets. We'll talk about that. 2 paychecks, and these folks are already in dire straits. They don't have the money to invest in the 401k. This ain't in the cards, man. Just ain't in the card. So how does one get into a better situation? Don't work for the government. No, I'm just being facetious. But looking at the situation with 401k non-contributions, looking at the average balance of people who contribute to a 401k plan, it ain't even close to enough. We're talking about, let's put it this way. If you are in the position where you have that balance, let's go ahead and be generous. Let's say everyone has $109,000. Then you have your 4%. Wait. My bad. The 4% withdrawal rate is in case everything goes well. It's often going to be less than the 4%, more like 3.2 or 2.9%. So 2.9% of 100, you carry it. It's like $2,000 a year times carry. So that's like $200 a month. Hold up. Wait a minute. If you were hustling, you could make $500 a month, literally hustling 10 to 20 hours. Well, see, there's something wrong with that. See, you need all of this money set aside to make so little money. You see what I'm saying? That's why the first mandate is make more money. It's going to be very hard for the average person with average income to accelerate or get enough money to participate in the 401k, the stock, the paper investment asset class game. Be 100% transparent. If you have the money, it works. The more money you have, the greater it works. It works. But the thing is, due to these false narratives, we're dealing with a lot of people who can't play those reindeer games. They can't be part of the game. And that's the point that I've been trying to make. And this is why I'm all over the fire, people, because once again, I have great analytical skills. And I've been peering in there and I kept hearing it's like, I used to be an engineer. Well, I was a banker, or I was an investment banker, or I ran a mutual. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know what? It is easy to save 80% of your income when you're making $500K a year. It's really, let's just be real. And I'm going to be something you're going to say first problems. I get it. I don't know. Throw rocks, pitchforks, whatever. If you're an average person with average lifestyle and average means, and you're not some Instagram celebrity, it is hard to spend $100K a year net. You could take 5 vacations. You could have an outrageously expensive car with a payment. But $100K net, which is it's $8,600 per month net. That's what you get to spend. Unless you're just a seriously careless, it's kind of hard to blow that money. It really is for the average person. So if you're like an average person and you get into a really good situation where you're making a ton of money, it's going to stack up. And this is like my situation. This is why I'm saying, look, make more money, hustle, put some other stuff in play. Because once you get, like I said in that video the other day, once I got past the 6-figure mark, that's when my life began to change. That's when I began to experience excess. And that's when I began to experience abundance. That's what it took. It's going to probably take a little bit more for you to get there, but good news. You have the internet. You have all of these study groups. You have these Facebook groups. There's a lot of people that if you actually do the work, you'd be successful. Now, part of the problem, and it's very interesting, I'm not even going to say his name. It's one of these Amazon FBA people. He put this question on his page recently, like maybe 30 minutes ago. And he said, how many of you would go back to a job? It was for me. I was like, I didn't even have to think about it. No, I'm not going back to a job. I've officially been self-employed business owner longer than I've ever held a job. You know, the totality of my job career, I've exceeded that as a self-employed business owner person. Like, there ain't no point going back to a job. And I was just looking categorically, just from a quick glance, because I didn't spend a lot of time there. I would say 80% of the people is like, yeah, under the right conditions. Absolutely. I was like, this is why I get into trouble. This is why I get into these little fights with people, because I am part of this rugged, independent American lifestyle. Rugged individualism, rugged independence, whatever. That's me. Many folks don't want that rugged independence because it's very expensive in the beginning. It's very expensive in the beginning. You know, you don't get to hang out with your folks. You don't get to hang out with your girl. You're always working. You're looking at numbers. Front end, very, very expensive. Back end, woo! It's a party every day. You get up, you want to get up. You watch TV all night. I don't schedule appointments on Mondays. I don't schedule appointments on Fridays. My consulting business is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I don't schedule an appointment before 10 a.m. And I don't schedule any appointments after 5:30. I don't consider this, quote, retirement. I consider this having enough financial independence to do exactly what I want. This is, once again, with the FIRE movement, the principles of sound money management, making the best choices with your money, I absolutely agree with that. The nomenclature and the terms they use, I just call bull on. You're not retired if you still have to work. And this is something else too. Going back to these asset allocations. When you can't, because once again, all of this stuff is based on the hypothesis of everything going correctly all the time. In this life, that's just not in the cards. Something gonna happen. When I had to go to the hospital, I almost died. Didn't see that coming. But I was in a situation where it was pretty easy to weather. I was just healing up. had my cars paid for, had a place to stay. I was just sick. There are many people who become ill and then they're ill, which is scary, scary stuff. Then they can't work, which means they don't have income, which means they can't pay their bills. So there's this thing of being sick. That's all I had to deal with, which is quite a bit. Then you have all of this other stuff that people who are not in a proper financial position or underinsured have to face all this other stuff. These false narratives are setting people up for the okie doke. This is what's happening. I saw this other post on Facebook. This dude met this chick in a homeless shelter. I don't even know how he met this chick. She was in a homeless shelter. She had not one, not two, not three, not four, 4.5 kids, because she had 4 kids who were already here and one in one. And she met this dude and he took them all in. Great credit. He built her up. He became the father of those kids. He has no biological children of his own. To me, I'm going to be real here. There ain't no way in hell I would have looked at her. I don't, because she's cute. But see, disruptive male rules, for every kid you have, that deducts a point or 2 from your sexual marketplace value. So she would have been a 2. 4.5 kids, homeless shelter. She may have been a 1 to me. Forget all this cuteness here. Forget all that. I've been like Randy, it's a no dog. No, for me, it's a no dog. And I know why he did it. He did it for the same reason that all these guys are going to the Dominican Republic. They're going to Brazil. They're getting hot honey with low economic prospects. He got him a little cutie. And for some men, that's enough. Like, once again, it ain't enough for me. I'll be real. I had an ugly girlfriend one time. True story. Killer body, but she was like more handsome than pretty. She wasn't, I should say I had a handsome girlfriend. And the reason I chose her is she was an attorney. She actually paid off all her student loan debt. Her car was paid for and her house was half paid for and she had no credit card debt. I was like, my dick ain't never been this hard before. Oh my God. I made a decision with my mind. I was like, this is a good woman. We're together 2 years. Never had to worry about her like, hey, baby, big daddy, I need a little money. I need my nails. And didn't work. Never even came up. She was completely self-sufficient. I knew she liked me. For real. Not like, well, maybe, no. I'm just putting it out here because there's a lot of you men who are like, I'll never date a single mother. I ain't gonna never date a woman with a kid. Within 5 years, you'll be married to a woman with a kid. Because you don't have the economic resources to make it out here on your own. You're gonna be like, you make $55,000 a year? I make $50,000 a year. We put that together. We 6-figure couple, baby. We 6-figure couple. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's take this bottle top. Here. This is a temporary ring. I'm gonna go out and get you one. Matter of fact, let's use your credit to get your ring. I'm telling you, this is going down. Because we're about to go through a serious economic shift. And once again, look at the people in the shutdown and just magnify that times 30 million people. Look at what this is impacting. It's been a month. It's going into the second month. And I'm very interested to see how long it's going to take for the air traffic controllers and the TSA people to walk off the job. These folks are not going to work 4 and 5 or 6 months with no money. They can't work that long with no money. They can't do it. You know, I think Donald and Cruz like, hey, let's take this to April. Their wallets, financial lives are not going to allow them to last that long. So I am fully expecting the air traffic controller strike before. They've done this before. And I guarantee you, they thinking about it. And you get them and TSA, they will shut this country down. No planes in the air. For every day that there's no planes in the air, billions of dollars are lost. And that's the way they're going to have to attack this fool, because he doesn't care. He has no empathy. He has none. But his handlers, they're like, wait a minute. We losing billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars over this. Dude, forget that wall and get you better get the back to make a deal. Make a deal. He's had 2 defeats this week. Nancy said, you ain't coming up in my house. Oh, yes, I am. No, you're not. Oh, Mr. President, you know, she's just as powerful as you. The house. Oh, no, you can't do that. All right. We're going to have this vote. I know the GOP is going to have my back. What do you mean 6 senators crossed over? They have that again, it's going to be 8. They have that vote again, it's going to be enough to have a veto-proof majority. They will go around him. We're getting to the point, and like I said, I would be surprised if they don't get this solved in the next 2 weeks. Because if they are foolish enough to keep this going for another 2 weeks, and these folks miss that 3rd paycheck, and these tax refunds get delayed, you will have fire in the street. You will have people out here throwing Molotov cocktails. You think I'm kidding? 2-3 checks from Financial Ruin. Next week, it's 3 checks. Well, the week after next is 3 checks. I ain't flying. I had some trips planned. I'm not going nowhere. I am not going to go somewhere and get stuck. I refuse. I'm not going anywhere until like 2 weeks after this is over. I am not going nowhere. If I have to make a little trip, I'll drive. If it's close, I am not going nowhere. It would be hilarious. No, it'd be sad. It'd be misfortune. Everybody comes to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. Then the air traffic controllers walk off, and all these folks get stuck here in Atlanta. Woo! This would be hot Atlanta for real. Let's see. All right, let's get into these comments because y'all don't. What's up, Crep Junkie? Johnny Walton, Excalibur, Miss Finance, Lamode, 89, Dr. Funk, Stack the Flipper. What's going on? Ganja, I'm a Fed employee. Luckily, I'm still getting paid, but I calculated that I'll be paid for the next 26 to 28 weeks. Until then, I'm hustling. What's up, Reggie? Kelly. All right, Reggie. Hey, people who fly know this because typically you got to get to the airport minimum 2 hours, hour and a half. So, and then you got like an hour. So that's like 3.5 hours right there. So if you got to drive 5 hours, they ain't really that big of a deal. You know when you're going to get there and you leave when you want to. Ganja, hey, I'm not traveling. What do you mean I'm not buying the pack? People are suffering. Okay. Ganja, people will pull money out their 401k. Remember that part where I said people were financially tapped out? Many people already pull money out their 401k and they can't make another loan. Remember, a lot of these people were already hugging that financial edge. This is just going to cast them into the abyss of financial devastation and ruin. Oh, man. Chris, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I've had this for 2 years, and you're the first person to even bring it up. Makes me wonder where your mind is. Oh my goodness. What's up, Mark Scott? Tim A. G, do you think the Roth RA is worth investing in? If you have enough flow, 401ks are good. If you have enough flow, a Roth RA is good. If you have enough flow, an RA is good. If you have enough flow, max contributions, I think it's 5,500, 6,500 between the two. That's 12,000. That would be like $11,000 a year. Most people cannot put $11,000 a year away. If you have the flow, everything works. The point that I'm trying to illustrate is that with basic income being under household income being 55,000, average single person income being 28 to 32K, people don't have the money to play the IRA, the investment game. They just don't have the money. What's up, Silver Turtle? I know freedom is the goal. Reggie Lee, you have to be a baller to be a black businessman or wear a hoodie featuring a monkey boot. It's funny. Sometimes I actually forget that I'm black. I know I always have to have someone from the peanut gallery like, hey, look what you're doing, man. Do you you know what that represents? You know what that represents? Here's a news flash. Each generation, people forget or don't know. And it's supposed to be a gorilla. But anyway. Reggie, cute body, but more. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And she was sexy slim, so that really helped. She was small, like 5'2", about 125, and she had like this little tomboy haircut. But she took those clothes off. Good Lord. I was like, I can do this. Reggie, she wouldn't care. She's married anyway. Gunji. Pretty much. That's the only thing. That's the only way you're gonna get at him. Can't essentially when you're dealing with someone in that type of power, the only thing that's going to make them pay attention is more power, less, more. Oh man, they are putting the pressure on them. Let's see. Let's go back. I give them 2 more paydays. Tarji, that's what I think's the next step. Seriously. If you're one of my Facebook friends, they were playing No Sleep Till Brooklyn on the PA systems in the airport, in one of the largest airports, in the busiest airports in the world. They completely did not care. Next step, I ain't getting paid. I'm leaving. I know, Crep Junkie. All right, Silver Turtle down there in Costa Rica, met with them Costa Rican women. Ganja, man, trust me, I know they're thinking about it. What's up, Anthony? I love these times, man. It separates the real from the fake entrepreneurs. Have you noticed that you've seen a lot of the drop shipping channels stop talking about drop shipping? That was a product of the Trump tariffs. done this. Honestly, after reading Coming Apart by Charles Murray and Two White Towns and how they were in different economic means and marriage. Dude, people go, look, you know, a girl, she lives with me. I ain't stupid because this is more so from not an economic standpoint, but I knew that I was getting to the point that I would never be able to live with anybody, and I had to make some adjustments. Silver New Jack. Good Lord, you making money like that? Delta Lucy. That's funny. Anthony, with these $9 and $10 an hour jobs, I'd rather dumpster dive. Essentially, you have to reach a certain point to be able to play these games. Oh man, that was a long time ago. Oh, we're gonna talk about some different stuff here. Ian Bayless, 50K a year times 800 workers becomes 40 billion a year, or just over 3 billion a month for not being circulated in the economy. This shutdown alone is causing the recession to get worse. And people are talking about that because you take that 3 billion that's not in the economy, then the people that would have paid, they don't have money to pay the other people. So there's this ripple effect. So you could pretty much say that 3 billion is going to probably matriculate into 12 billion per month that's not being put in an economy that is already going down. So I agree 100%. Well, someone said that they're ending the government shutdown. I've not seen that yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if they ended that this weekend. 6 senators who are all vulnerable in the next election, they walk across that aisle. Guarantee you, they keep holding these votes. It's gonna be 10. It's gonna be that veto, and then he's just gonna look really, really bad and look really, really weak. This is what guy wrote this book. What, the Art of the Deal? I don't see any deal making. That's funny. Well, anyway, I just wanted to put that in your heads because, like I said, a 401k, invest money. If you have the excess flow to put into those investment vehicles, yes, they work. My whole point is that most of America can't play those games. They don't make enough money. So when you look at it from that perspective, oh, and like I said, I've been studying this fire movement. Used to be an engineer, used to be a star. These folks were coming from highly paid professions, married to someone who had a highly paid profession. They could easily live on one income and invest 50, 60K a year, between 20 and 30, between 20 and 60. I heard one guy and he was talking, he said, it was easy for me. I was single. I was making $600,000 a year. He's like, I just couldn't spend it all. And the guy's like, are you married? He said, no. That's why. Oh, let's see. Well, we will see in a minute. Well, if you need any help, go and get the basic financial education course. It's $75. It's below. I'm probably going to raise the price next week. There'll be content and training added today, tomorrow, which is Saturday, and Sunday. So, and I'm getting ready to put in a new section of the 5 checking account blueprint, because I gave you the first one, and once you get the first one done, there's a few other games that you can play to put more money in your pocket. So with that, I will see you guys later in the next video. All links are below. Peace.